Welcome to the podcast that looks at truth, fiction, and reality with a smirk. I'm Aaron Peterson.
I'm Amanda Sink.
And I'm Zack Parkerson.
Each episode, one of our hosts introduces an original story, which then uses a springboard for a spirited discussion on whatever the moral or theme of this story was or is. Amanda's turn is this week, and I believe she's going to try something different. I assume it's not a PSA work human resources event this time?
No, it's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to use Zachary for this one.
Well, I love to be used.
Oh, okay.
This is going to be
that
weird.
Was not what I intended.
How do you use somebody for your own short story? Can you explain?
Well, I mean, I guess you'll find out. But basically, it's almost like we're doing like a round table acting thing because we're actually going to read lines to get the story going. So Zach and I are going to be having a conversation based on like a script, sort of.
How come I'm not part of this?
You chose not to be.
Well, I mean, you only wrote it for 2, apparently, so somebody had to be left out.
I did. I could have added a third person in at the end, and I contemplated it.
That might have made sense for a show with 3 hosts.
I mean, maybe. At least one person should be left completely in the dark, I think.
Amanda's like, I'm going to make somebody feel bad.
For the record, I'm still in the dark. I have not read this beforehand.
That is true. I won't let you.
Yeah.
I'm literally in the dark. I just turned a light bulb off, so I'm ready to go. Mwah.
All right, well, let's get into this story.
Oh, well, we can banter more. What do you got to talk about?
You guys see that Taco Bell's got buffalo chicken now? Oh, my God.
What?
Yeah. Buffalo chicken nacho fries.
Yeah, that's...
So wait for that sponsorship to come in.
I don't
whenever
think
they're
it's
ready.
going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. You can eat it, and then you can go get some toilet paper coupons and see what happens.
I mean, is there a podcaster who more evangelizes Taco Bell? Let's be real.
No, I don't think so. Mm-mm.
It's me, baby.
I don't even think if Taco Bell had a podcast, they'd mention it as much as you do. Or as positively, because they know what's in it.
Oh, my God. Well, come on. They even got a burrito form of this buffalo chicken nacho fry burrito. Oh. Aaron.
Wherever they make this
come
food,
on.
There are a lot of rats that are missing.
That's fine. If it tastes good, does it really matter where it comes from?
No, I agree. Yeah, let's.
What if it's
give it a
people?
shot.
That's me. Use the dead for something.
Can I get names and maybe we can do some research? Because I say it depends on the people. Is that wrong to say? I don't know where we are in society.
That could be an episode.
Let's be honest. There are some people that are just better at food.
Well, yeah, there are some people.
Like, I want to know
up.
what you've been eating before I eat you.
You don't want to eat me. Trust me. That's just worse for you. A lot of ice cream. I don't know. Can ice cream come out of your pores? I don't know. But
Ice cream's great.
Well, I don't want to eat the skin.
why? It's the best
Why
part
not?
of a
It's the
chicken.
best part of a chicken. Whoa, jinx.
You want me to go?
Oh, my goodness. Let's move on.
That's where all the crispy crunchy is.
I don't think I'm ever going to eat fried chicken again now.
People. That was that special recipe that they had in the KFC bucket. That's where they had to change it. They're like, oh, they're about to find me out. All right, Amanda, let's do your story because I feel like this isn't going anywhere. Good.
All right, it's time for a story.
"15 days I've been sitting in here. It's cold. I can't talk to anyone. I'm hungry and I'm tired. It's unfair what happened to me. I don't deserve this.
Why do you say that?
It wasn't my fault. Since when do you get treated like a criminal for protecting yourself? I didn't know this was going to happen. I was protecting myself.
Why did you need to protect yourself?
Because they were coming after me. They were going to hurt me. I mean, what would you do if you saw your family lying in blood, hardly recognizable?
It sounds really scary. I understand you felt scared. What did you do when you found them?
I was scared. I was going to be next. I knew that much. I saw my wife first. I went to her and I screamed. I tried to help her. I was holding her and I went to get up to call the police. She grabbed me before she took her last breath.
And then what'd you do?
I didn't see my kids. And Jess was always with the kids. So I ran to the room and they were just lying there, covered in blood. I held them both close, but there's nothing I could do. It was too late for all 3 of them. I knew I was next, so I went back to the living room.
Where your wife was?
Yes, that's where Jess was, and I grabbed the fire poker off the floor.
So It was already on the floor?
I guess so.
So what happened after you grabbed the poker? Is that when your alleged attacker came in?
I told you they were there already. They must have come back or been hiding or something. It was just a minute after I grabbed the poker to protect myself, and they came over screaming at me, running at me with a gun.
Were they running towards you because you were standing near your wife?
I already told you. They wanted to hurt me next. They were coming after me.
Okay, so what happened after they ran towards you?
What else? I protected myself. I hit them until they stopped.
And I assume you're aware of the body's condition.
Yeah, I'm aware.
So you were being attacked, but they didn't use their weapon, is that correct?
I didn't know that at the time. I saw Jess and Alex and Allie, and it was dark, and they were coming at me, and I just reacted, you know?
Sure, I can understand that. You wanted to protect your family. Back to the body, though. The report indicates that there were 23 impact points from the fire poker. Why didn't you stop?
I just kept going until they stopped. I didn't want to be next.
Okay. So just a few more things. Are you aware of Dr. Szymanski's findings regarding your psychiatric evaluation?
I know what he thinks, yeah.
And what is that?
He thinks that I was seeing things, that it wasn't real, that I was the one who killed my family.
And what do you make of that?
I would never hurt my family. I loved my family. You don't get to question that.
I'm not. I believe you love them, and I believe you believe this. But is there any possibility that what you believe to be reality isn't what happened?
That isn't what happened.
Can I read to you the report I received?
Fine.
On February 13th at approximately 8:37 p.m., the suspect entered the home where 3 of the victims, 1 adult and 2 children, were. Victims 1 and 2 were the suspect's children, ages 4 and 6, who were in their beds at the time of the incident. Both victims suffered severe head and facial trauma, and CSU found 2 holes in the bedroom walls matching the size of the 2 victims. Findings indicate suspect repeatedly threw the victims into the wall head first, and then placed them back into their beds. Suspect then moved on to victim 3, suspect's wife, who was near the fireplace in the home. Suspect approached the victim and used a sharp object, later identified as a fire iron, to attack the victim. Coroner's reports indicate the hot fire iron went through the victim's head near the left eye. Neighbors, husband and wife, reported hearing possible screams around approximately 8:38 p.m., and then again at 8:41 p.m., and then once more at 8:45 p.m. After the third scream, the neighbors who had a rapport with the victim and the suspect's family ran over to check on the family. The wife reports that upon her husband entering the home where the door was slightly cracked and unlocked, the suspect was standing with a weapon in his hand next to the victim's body. The neighbor reports her husband ran at the suspect, screaming to put it down, holding a handgun. At this time, she was still standing partly outside, and the suspect ran at the husband with the fire iron and stabbed him repeatedly. The neighbor wife reportedly ran, screaming, and called 911.
I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Let me out, Garth. Let me out.
End story.
Scene.
Jeez.
I didn't know how loud to get, man.
I didn't know either, and I didn't want it to blow up the
Yeah.
speakers here.
Great story. And I give Zack credit because he didn't even know what the thing was until right before we started. And you did a nice little acting.
You did.
job
I
there.
was going to say, you're like a little
Oh, wow.
voice actor.
Aw, that's very nice. Thank you.
You're like Jennifer Lawrence.
I don't
Aw.
know if I'm Jennifer Lawrence, man, but I'll
I
take
think
it.
you're better.
Wow.
Well,
Okay.
no. Let's dial that back a little bit.
I saw Mockingjay. Maybe I am.
That's-
So what's next? Are you going to do
check
are you
cleared.
going to go into voice acting for video games?
How wouldn't that be a dream?
That sounds like a dream. Well, that's a really intense story. So thanks for brightening up the day. That was a gem, huh?
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
I went positive last week. Someone had to dour things down.
Yeah, that was pretty oofa.
Figured I'd switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, nice little apparently poker holes in somebody's head. That's
Yeah.
switching it up, all right.
Through the eye, man.
They had it coming.
I didn't realize
They
Jason
only
Voorhees
had
got married.
themselves to blame.
So what do you guys think the moral of that super weird and horrible story is?
Don't get caught.
Perception is reality.
Oh, I like those.
Hmm.
The moral is every story has another side. Because when you first start talking to this individual, the reporter is talking to Zack's character. And he has his own story. But then the other side of it is that, you know, what the neighbors saw and everything else that's going on.
Well, I would debate that in a way and say there's really only one side of the story, and the other version is crazy. So,
Oh, man, no. You saw The Fugitive.
Yeah, I did. I don't think the fugitive had a bunch of holes in his wife's head and
You fucking get set up, man.
a bunch of holes in the wall. It just, and he says, I stopped until I kept doing it until I stopped. So who does he think his wife is attacking him? That's what he thinks? Or
He thought the killer was attacking. He was defending himself.
The
Right.
thing is that he thought that the individual that was attacking him was the intruder.
But it was really his wife.
The killer was attacking me. I defended myself.
Should have made you do this through the whole episode. That would have been cool.
But it was his wife, right?
The dead person?
Yes.
The dead person, yeah, his wife is dead. His 2 kids upstairs he killed, throwing them allegedly.
Not according to his story. He didn't do anything.
I didn't do nothing.
Guards! I'm an innocent man. Get the Innocent Project on this.
One side is that he believed that he was being attacked, but really it was him coming back into reality at the same time that he just murdered his wife.
Got it. Back to life, back to reality.
Snap back to reality.
Oh,
there
boy.
goes gravity.
So my first question for you guys,
Mom
does
spaghetti.
it change the guilty verdict in your mind if reality is altered for a suspect? So in this case, this individual was actually hallucinating.
I was not.
Does that change things for you?
What change? What I mean, there's reason of insanity. There's guilt by reason of insanity, or do you mean changes his guilt?
But
in
would
some
you
way?
condemn that person for murder like you would any other person who was in their right mind and just willingly killed somebody?
It's tough. I think what it honestly comes down to is the severity of the crime.
Well, there's 4 dead people.
Yeah, well, you know.
Wait, 4. Who's the 4th one? 2 kids.
The
wife?
neighbor husband.
Oh, right. Well, that sucks.
came in.
That sucks for him.
What I'm saying is there's like hallucination where you can believe the insanity of, oh my God, like he thought his wife was dead and he attacked the neighbor's husband and killed him. But there's also he smashes kids' faces through a wall. And I think when you see that and you hear about it and you see the pictures of it, even if he is insane, you're going to want to condemn him in a prison setting. Now, logically, I would like to think I would err on the side of logic that if he's insane, and you're not going to be able to rehabilitate him through a prison setting anyway, so you send him to a psychiatric facility.
That is, it's always been a tough one for me because I do believe very much in psychology and institutionalization and rehabilitation on the prison side. On the same token, I also believe if you kill a couple kids, you should never, I don't really care about your life anymore. I feel like it's forfeit, mental illness or not. I just have a hard time. Like, I don't want you back in the system ever anyway. So I'll be honest with you, I really don't care where he ends up. I mean, there is the human part of me that says, hey, make sure that guy gets all the help he can so he can understand the weight of what he's done, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and maybe be a functioning portion of society again. But 90% of me is, you killed 2 kids, don't care. Sorry that you have the psychosis. I never want to see you out free again anyway. So rehabilitation isn't really a prerogative of mine. That's a tough call, man. It's a tough call.
There's also the consideration of, so you take him to a psychiatric facility and he realizes what he's done. He realizes he killed 2 innocent children and he's already he's just going to kill himself. Like, how do you live with that?
See, this is why the Old West was the way to go. You know,
Let me tell you about
10
the Old West.
paces.
Get running, boy.
Would your responses to this change, though, if instead of hallucinating, he had multiple personalities?
No,
Dissociative
it's still
disorder.
mental illness no matter what. Like, don't get me wrong. I firmly believe in if you catch everything in time, they believe everyone deserves the chance to rehabilitate themselves and to understand what they've done and to fully grasp the realization of their illness and to be medicated and everything else. On the same token, I have you asked what I personally believe. And once you get, like, I would throw law and logic to the wind if it was like my kids or if it was someone I care, or someone I know is actually anybody's kids, really. At that point, I just don't care anymore. At some point, there are people who have done horrible things like this, right? They go and they get treated because they're guilt by reason of insanity. They get treated, they get released, and they're back in the world again 15, 20 years later. I don't think you should ever be able to be free after something like that. It just, yes, I understand the psychology of it, and I understand you weren't responsible because your mind wasn't in the right place. On the same token, I still don't think you deserve to be out free after that. So I don't care where they go as long as they get somewhere where they can't come back.
All right.
Does that make any
Fair
sense?
enough.
Or is that too harsh?
Oh, yeah.
It does.
Yeah. It's just kids change everything.
Now, if it's just the wife.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And the neighbor.
Well, I don't care about the neighbor.
Yeah,
He's nothing to me.
He probably stole my tools anyway.
Honestly, he's sick and he knows where it doesn't belong, all right? Stay home.
Yeah, like
Order Domino's.
Who asked you to interfere? Just because there's I'm taking a poker and just slamming it around the room.
Be a good neighbor and pretend you didn't hear a thing.
Exactly. Call the police. That's your job. Don't, Yeah, it's a horrible situation. I'm willing to bet where the truth and false of this is right now, but, I could be wrong. It's hard. I believe firmly in institutionalization and psychology and being able to, God, it's so hard. Man, once you involve kids, it really makes it harder for me to sympathize or empathize because those kids never have a shot.
Yeah. It is a tough question. I don't have an answer to it, which is why I want to know what you guys thought.
Don't you have a degree in psychology? Shouldn't you be all about wow, go on?
Well, no, I mean, I obviously agree with the individual should be institutionalized after the crime has been committed. But whether I would personally, rather than professionally or something, condemn them or feel like they're still responsible, that's still something that I think is just more humanistic than logical, because you still, as a human, you can go through, you feel like these are still lives that were taken unnecessarily. And there's always the risk that they're going to go back into society because, I mean, first of all, we don't have really great facilities that in most parts of the country to care for these individuals for rehabilitation, getting them the right medication to a point where they can lead their own life, even if they're still within their own community together. We just don't have stable funds for that. We can't guarantee that that's going to last for all of their lives. So I don't know. It's just leads you to an uncomfortable position where you're not really sure how to actually make a difference in their lives and protect other people.
You just kind of got where my mind was, and I was searching to find the words for it. So here's, based on your scenario, killed 2 kids. I don't want to ever have them see the light of day because of that. Don't really care about the circumstances. I believe he should be in a psychological facility of some sort for the rest of his days, if possible. But if there's any chance that they're going to release him because, I deem you're okay, go ahead, then prison. I just don't want him to see the light of day. Whatever it takes to make sure that guy never sees the light of day again. I'm sorry. I hope you feel bad. I hope you understand. I'm sorry that your mind wasn't in the right place, but I also feel more bad for the kids. So whatever keeps him locked away. There you go.
Well.
So the next question, what about the influence of drugs and alcohol, since your mind can be altered in that state?
Whoa.
So drug addiction.
Don't do it, man. Don't do drugs.
Is there a level of responsibility that's taken away?
No.
Kind of like the mental health, where if you have a mental illness and addiction is a mental illness, does that change the way you perceive that?
Oh, brother.
Boy, this is where we get banned off Twitter and everywhere else.
I'm flamed, man. to me, no, the responsibility is not off your shoulders, because in order to become, say, a heroin addict, there are many choices that were your responsibility that led you to that moment. When you have a mental illness, it's either going to be biological or environmental from your youth, most likely. Some kind of pressures upon you which could lead you to drugs, but you are still making a conscious decision to several times over partake in these drugs.
I like what Zach said.
So, personal responsibility?
Well, I can agree with the first time as a choice, but after that, your brain is chemically rewired. That's how the addiction
Just like
process
love.
works. Just like love. Are you comparing love to drug addiction?
Yes.
Of course.
100%.
That's so funny.
Also, I agree with Zach.
Well, this episode comes out around Valentine's Day, so this is
Oh.
the episode of love.
There you go. Nothing says love like a poker in the head.
You poke her over and over again.
I'm going to feel really bad if this is a true story. I really, really am.
I think it might be.
I think it might be. Did you just say poker over and again?
Yeah.
He did.
Delayed.
With a fire poker is, of course, what I meant.
So, what lengths would you go through for a neighbor? Let's say that you do like them, because in this individual did have a good rapport with the other family. The two families had a good rapport together.
Mm-hmm.
For a neighbor that's screaming multiple times. You
Well,
hear multiple screams.
this is an important question.
Including children.
Got it.
I abstain.
What kind of screaming?
Screams for help, not the...
Well, I mean, if it's... Whoa, talk about voice acting.
Wow.
If you
Well
want to talk about
done.
screams for help, I mean, maybe that is, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, what was the question? Because now I feel really derailed.
What lengths would you go through, or would you even assist if you heard your neighbors that you have a good relationship with, if you heard screaming from their house multiple times, including children?
Oh, if I heard children, I'd immediately run in. I would do the same thing that neighbor did. If I heard just screaming, I would probably call the police. If I heard somebody saying, help me, then I would go in and tell someone else to call the police if I could.
Scream 1, I pretend I didn't hear it.
Going back to my Taco Bell.
And I dig into my nacho burrito, and I keep watching. Well, I was gonna say Arrow, but
I was going to say Arrow 2 for you.
not anymore.
times.
Not anymore.
You can rewatch it.
That's fine. And Scream 2, I'm probably pausing the video game or the TV, and I'm gonna look up at my ceiling or wall quizzically and go, ugh, probably maybe look at the person next to me and go, like, do a little, like, a, you know, kind of a pain face, like, ugh, what do we do here? Scream 3, I go, oh god, this is a real incident, isn't it? Oh my god. And then I go knock on the door.
Oh, you wouldn't go in. You would just knock on the door.
No, I'm not gonna just break and entering.
The doors, remember,
Is
the door
anybody
was
died in there?
cracked.
You're right. Oh, the door is cracked in the scenario, isn't it? I guess I honestly, like Scream 3, I would probably grab a baseball bat and like kind of tuck it behind me, even though it's really obvious you're carrying something. And then if the door is cracked, I'm going to lightly push it open with the bat just to take you through the scene and try to like peek in there. And then I'm just going to grab the bat, start spinning in circles, hit anyone. No, yeah, then you kind of try to investigate it. And you know, it's funny, at any point in this process, I never even thought to call the cops. So
You're already inside the house and you're like, shh.
You are totally
I
this
forgot my
neighbor.
phone.
You are
you
dead.
know what? Every time I call the cops, they have not come through.
That's really unfortunate.
Yeah, that's too bad.
There was okay, a brief story. Quick aside, there was one time where my mom and her boyfriend was like beating the crap out of each other, and she, like the boyfriend ended up through the back window, patio door.
The boyfriend? Mom threw him through a window?
Your mom is a beast.
I think he tripped. I think it helped.
Yeah, he tripped. She picked him up and whipped him out the window, apparently.
And I called the police about this, and I called my father about this, and my father beat the cops by a few minutes.
Wow.
What?
Like, so that's my feeling on the police.
Who did you call first?
The police.
So you called the police first.
Yes, they're supposed to save you in these situations.
They should get their... yeah, I would think, yeah. The response time doesn't sound too impressive.
No.
Yikes.
No, this is Rockford, Illinois, of course, which is known for some crime.
Hey, Jim, we got a call about some dame. Some dame threw a
Dame,
dude
that's
out a
right.
window.
Bring it back.
It's going to be all right. He's going to be all right. Let's eat this donut. Let's go, and then we'll get there.
I
Okay.
really wish that this could have been a whole Smirk story, by the way.
It sounds like it should be.
Yeah, what a wasted opportunity.
Yeah, it really burned it.
And do it in 2 months. We'll forget about it.
Right. Us and the listeners.
Yeah. Make it a murder mystery. There you go.
So anyway, I would not think to call the cops because and honestly, in the back of my head, I'm just like, they're not gonna be here in time to make a difference.
What about you, Amanda? What do you do? What's your reaction?
I'm calling the police before I even leave. And I'm probably keeping them on the phone. I'll put them in like my pocket or in my bra or something.
Interesting.
If I have somebody with me, I'm getting them to go in front of me.
Yeah.
With a weapon.
That sounds right. I was waiting for the Amanda to come through in this story.
I'm definitely hiding. I will help. I want to be, I don't know what the right word is. It starts with an A. It's not philanthropic.
Asinine?
There's another word.
Asinine.
No, but I want to help people, but I also don't want to die. I have a real
Altruistic?
fear of getting shot. Yeah, maybe that's it. So I wouldn't want to be dead. That would suck.
Yeah, that would be very bad.
I don't really care. I'll throw myself in danger.
You know what I learned this whole episode is I'm never borrowing Amanda's phone because it's going to have booby on it.
Oh, it's been in there.
Yep,
Yeah,
definitely never borrowing it.
Imagine.
I do clean it though.
I don't want to know
The
anymore.
booby or the phone?
Both. You got to clean both. Also, you guys take your phone into the bathroom and you touch your junk with your hands and your phone. I mean, you're mixing a whole lot of germs there.
You make it sound like we were just throwing it on the phone or something. It's
I'm
just
not
weird.
holding it in place with my penis. What are you talking about?
This feels derailed.
This is derailed.
They love it. I honestly thought Amanda was going to be like, I pretend I don't hear it. I leave and I go get some Domino's.
Domino's? What kind of person do you think I am?
Papa John's.
No, actually, they do have the garlic sauce, the garlic butter sauce.
Damn it, we're going to food talk again.
Sorry, there are people dying. We got to hurry up. We got to get over there.
You're right. We only have time to go to McDonald's. They're the fastest.
So what do you guys think? Is my story truth or fiction?
Truth.
Yeah, I'm going with truth.
Fiction!
Liar.
Well, thank God. I am so... All the times I made fun of it, I feel so much better now.
I even had to Google what do cops use in their report when referring to a perpetrator, and they call them just a suspect, I guess, or a perp.
You had to Google this?
Well, I didn't know what their actual report said, if it was perp or suspect.
I feel like you should be using Google to better means.
Why? She's using it for the good of the world, man.
How to clean boob off your phone. That seems like a more important thing to Google.
I clean it with Lysol and stuff, man.
What? How do you clean your boob phone with a Lysol can?
No, my phone. You clean it. You get Lysol wipes and you clean it.
Oh my God.
I really thought that the story from the beginning, I was like, am I playing the role of Chris Benoit, the WWE wrestler who went crazy and killed his kid and his wife?
Oh wow.
Ouch. No,
Yeah.
but this sounds like a fascinating story. Tell us more.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, he basically he went crazy. Killed his kid, killed his wife. Came to his senses briefly. I want to say he called the fellow wrestler, and then ate a shotgun.
Oh, he killed himself.
Yeah.
I can't remember what I was watching that prompted this thought because it was a while ago that I wrote this now. And I was watching something and I was like, wouldn't it be interesting to create a story if there's this person who kills someone, but they do it, they're hallucinating or they have multiple personalities. So they don't realize that the person that they're killing that is their wife or somebody that they love and care about. They think that it's somebody who's attacking them. And that's where I kind of came up with that. So, but I can't remember what I was watching. It was something good too.
Well, the Chris Benoit thing's interesting because the WWE just pretends he doesn't exist, and every now and again you'll get fans saying yeah, he should be in the Hall of Fame. You know, what he did in his personal life doesn't affect his athletic accomplishments.
What?
But I thought, well, I like John Cena kind of put it the best because this is paraphrasing obviously, but he's like, hey, you're right, Chris Benoit is one of the greatest athletes that has ever been in the WWE. However, he killed kids, he killed his wife, and you know what? There are organizations that probably would let those records stand, that let criminals kind of keep playing the game.
NFL.
Yes, without saying the NFL, he was saying the NFL. He's like, but we don't do that here at WWE. He killed people. You don't get to be celebrated now. That's not what we're here for. We're not having kids Google Chris Benoit, the first thing that comes up is a murder. Like, we're just not doing it. And I was like, yeah, I respect the hell out of that answer.
I do too.
I just like how John Cena's like, WWE is a much more respectful organization than the NFL.
Honest to God, he's not wrong. One of these organizations lets accused murderers continue to play the game. One of them does not.
That's not convicted.
One of them kills dogs
Yeah.
and fights and gets to come back.
He served time. See, that's a whole Smirk story right there, because that would be a discussion. That would be a righteous discussion, because
righteous.
Righteous
fury.
It's all about righteousness in that whole discussion.
Well,
wouldn't it be?
Stop talking about it.
Yeah, rooted banter, man. Come on.
Jeez.
Write a story about dogs.
Please tell me the title of your story is The Poker.
No, but I want to change it now based on what Zack said.
Keep poking her?
Well, because if you remember, the poker was hot, like it was still on fire.
Right.
And so I titled it, This Love is on Fire.
Nice.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not bad.
Keep
what did you want to change it to?
Keep poking her should be a story for the future, though. I want to hear that someday.
Yeah, something like that. Something dirty and derogatory.
Love is on fire.
Yeah, that's basically where I got it from.
Yeah, I
was
understand.
like, oh.
Yeah, it wasn't a subtle reference.
No, it wasn't.
So is there any chance your character was faking it?
I mean, not in my story, but I'm sure that there's definitely people out there who have tried to use the insanity plea and are not. And I know this from personal experience.
It seems like if you have a genuine psychosis, it is apparent. Like, you believe it. It doesn't look like you're acting it or, crying for the camera or some such.
That is true. I was watching a documentary a couple of years ago. I could not tell you what the name of it if I tried, but they were talking about using insanity as a defense. And the one thing that they kept coming back to was almost everybody who's faking it, because there are many, many people who have tried to fake it so they can get out of a murder, don't realize that it's the believing it. That's the true sign of mental illness, is the person that's doing it has no doubt. They can pass a lie detector because they firmly believe what they're saying is true. And a person who's not crazy would never pass it because they know they're not telling the truth about it. So it's a tricky thing. It's interesting too.
Yeah. I mean, that's what the whole thing is. It's not reality to them. They have their own existence of reality of what happened. And they firmly believe that what is real, what actually happened is a lie.
It could be argued that perception is reality.
It could be argued.
It could be. Was that the moral of the story?
There are as many ways to view the world as there are people in it.
Okay, Pocahontas or Nostradamus or whatever the hell your name is. As our show goes, we will occasionally pick listener stories to read and discuss on Smirk. If you'd like to have a chance to have yours read, email it to mystory@smirkpodcast.com. Join the conversation by joining our Facebook group. We're on Twitter @SmirkPodcast. Be sure to use the show's hashtag Smirk. Don't miss an episode. Be sure to rate and subscribe to Smirk on your podcast app of choice. And again, our website is smirkpodcast.com. Yeah, I forget my philosophers. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a quote for the video game Nier. There you go. One of the greatest stories ever told.
And remember, as you write your own life story. Oh wait, no, I screwed that up.
Oh,
dang
my gosh.
it!
Good job.
Okay, hold on. Let me try it again. I always forget there's not two remembers. As you write your own life story.
Remember that there's only one to remember.
Stop messing me up. As you write your own life story, always remember to tell it with a smirk.
Remember, as you write your own life story, always tell it with a smirk. Whew.
I thought it was always remember to... No. So I had to write the first time. I just added in...
This is episode 77.
Aaron, what is it?
And as you write your own life story, always remember to tell it ... with a smirk.
A smirk. I got it right the second time. I was right. I caught myself and I fixed it.
I'm so good at the ... part, though.